Hey Cole, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Just wanted to ask you, what did obviously John Brown had a bit of a tough season with injuries. When he's in there for you guys, what does he add to the offense that maybe you don't have when he's not in there? In particular, what it means for you and for Stefan as well.
Yeah, it just makes it harder for them to double team and take guys away when he's out there. He's not really a guy you can just play one on one. So anytime you have a guy that can beat one on one coverage consistently, that's going to help your team.
And then for yourself personally, you had statistically your best season in the NFL. Do you take any satisfaction out of that when the year ends as tough as it did yesterday, or is that something that maybe as you get it removed from the season here a little bit, you'll reflect more on that kind of thing?
I think it was just I've never had a season where I've had maybe that much of a load. So just knowing that I can handle that, and then it teaches me about myself, the things that maybe I need to do to be able to handle that maybe a little better. Other than that, it's never something that's just satisfying to where you're like, okay, I did something good or whatever. But to me, it's like a step in the right direction of getting to where I want to be and improving. And I think I'm going to get better from the stuff that I've learned this season.
Thanks, Cole. I appreciate your time all season. Have a good off season.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cole Beasley, Mookie Arcus, 1-4 Sports Cincinnati. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay, bro. And just going into this season, what is just your overall assessment in year two?
That really, we got a lot of the right guys in the locker room to do what we need to do. We came up short, but other than myself, for the most part, it's a very young group. So we're building and learning with each other. And, we took a step last season, and then we took another step this year. So, there's only one more place to go. So that's the goal.
Absolutely, Cole. And when you get a chance to sit back and reflect on this season, how would that motivate you going into this offseason?
I don't really need any extra motivation. I've had it my whole life. I don't know. I didn't need to lose yesterday to be motivated. I was already motivated before. So, I'm still in the same spot as I was before. I wanted it bad yesterday. I still want it bad now. So I'm going to keep working until I get there. That's been the goal since day one.
Absolutely. Hey, man, it's been a treat to see this year, man. Stay healthy, be safe, and we'll see you in off season, Cole.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Cole, you guys got the ball moving a little bit more in the second half. We talked about it all last week, the struggle, the challenge that this Chiefs defense presents. What was it specifically that they continued to do so well early on, and how did you guys kind of get it going to where you're making more plays in the second half?
They mixed it up a lot on defense. They did a good job keeping us off balance with what they were doing, and then they did a good job when they brought double teams to me and Steph. They did it in critical situations and some of the bigger moments. So that was something that they did very well. Made it tough on us. We really got to do a better job of scoring touchdowns in the red zone. That hurt us yesterday. If we do that, then we're in the game. So I don't know. We've still only been together for, really since the Steph edition 1 year. So, this is only my second year with Josh. So, I only expect it to get better and better. And I don't feel like I'm slowing down at all. So, I feel like I'll be a better player physically next year than I was this year still. Last year was my first full off season that I've gotten in, 4 or 5 years. And now I'll get a second full off season in a row. So I'm excited for that.
We talked so much about how, close you and Stefan became this year. And obviously it was emotional for him after the game. Stayed on the field. Sean came out. What did you say to him after the game? And I mean, is that just go to show how much this means to him?
Yeah, we're very passionate and competitive guys. So it definitely stung yesterday. We didn't want to go home early, but all you can really do is love on each other and be there for each other and be there for your teammates, and that's what I was trying to do for anybody in the locker room. So that's just kind of what it is. We have a brotherhood here that we've established, so only expect it to carry over to next season as well.
Thanks, Cole.
Yep.
Hey, Cole. Good to see you.
Yep.
What growth did you see from Gabe Davis this season?
It's hard to even say it was growth because, he did it from, the beginning of the year. He played consistent all season, so I'm excited to see how he grows from this season to next season, really. Because really he went above and beyond, most of the rookies that I've played with. He's smart, picked up the offense super quick, and then made plays for us in big-time games when we needed them. So, anytime you have a young guy that can do that, sky's the limit. So, we'll see what happens when he comes back next year.
Definitely. Have a good offseason, Cole.
Thanks.
Hey, Cole, you talked about taking that step after the Houston loss. We were in that locker room, and it was kind of a lot of shock. You guys took that step to get to where you were this year. Did the locker room? How did that locker room after the game feel maybe different with the steps that you guys took?
You're talking about after this loss or just in general?
Comparing it to the Houston loss.
Tell you the truth, I can't even remember what the locker room was like after the Houston loss, but I feel like we kind of lost the game more so against Houston, so it was harder to swallow a little bit, and feel like we kind of let that one slip away. Whereas this one, they just played better than us yesterday. They beat us, so. We didn't play our best ball, but still they took it to us yesterday. So that's just kind of, you got to take it as that, and we got to figure out what we got to do to get better because they ain't going anywhere, but we aren't either. So I look forward to the challenge and look forward to another chance.
I appreciate it, Cole. Have a good offseason.
Yep.
Hey, Cole, Mike Giardi, NFL Network. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, we know that you dealt with some physical stuff, especially with the knee there late in the season and into the postseason. Is that something that's going to need to be taken care of in the offseason, or when you said you were going to have a full offseason, you feel like it's just something low rest?
I broke my fibula, but it's nothing that needs to be surgically repaired.
You broke your fibula. How did you manage that pain?
It was not a full break, but yeah, it was just something. It was bad the first game I played, but after that, it's kind of, and you take a few meds and suck it up.
Do you feel like that? Well, it certainly didn't look yesterday that deterred you at all in your movements.
It wasn't enough to really affect me like that. No, not at this point. Only that first game and the Ravens a little bit, but this game I felt pretty good. So I'm not gonna. There's no excuse for anything.
And if I may shift gears a little bit, you mentioned being with Josh for a second year, and I know, having talked to you before and having heard you talk this year, he takes a lot of responsibility on himself. And again, yesterday in the post game, sort of, I just have to be better. I have to make better decisions. How do you view that as a veteran player? Is he putting too much on himself, or is that exactly what you want to see out of your leader?
You always want to see some type of accountability from any player on your team, but he's always. I can say that he's being too hard on himself, but he's going to do that regardless of what I say because that's the type of guy he is, and that's why we love him so much. Anytime we lose a game, whether he could have thrown for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns and still said the same thing if we lost. So, we all got to be better. No one player can win a football game, So, I'm sure there's some things he feels he needs to do better, but also we need to do a lot better job on our end of making it easier for him, So he shouldn't have to be Superman every game for us to win, and he did that a lot this year. So I mean, we wouldn't even been there if it weren't for him. So, dude had a hell of a year.
Appreciate you, Cole. Have a good offseason.
Thank you.
Hey, Cole, Julianne Pelusi, Channel 2. We just heard from Trey, and he kept mentioning wanting to be the best version of himself for this team. And obviously, that's something you want every year. But you were playing hurt, trying to give your best to this team. Like, what can you give to that sentiment that this year you really wanted to give your best?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know any other way. I mean, I don't know any person who doesn't want to give the best version of themselves at this level. If they don't, then they're probably not. They're either not here, they're not playing while they're here. So, but Trey says he wants to just be the best version of himself, but Trey also wants to be the best out of everybody. So that's what makes Trey so great. I think he's just being modest when he says that. But, we have a lot of those type of players in here that want to be the best to do it at their position and take a lot of pride in that. I don't know. That's just what it is.
Playing through a serious injury and being starving, how are you able to manage that?
I just realized that there's not many opportunities that you get on a team like this that's special like this and has this chance. So, you just try to find a way to push through it and be the best you can for your teammates. But you got to be careful because you got to do it to a point where you don't hurt the team as well. So, but I kind of knew what I could do, within myself, and I believe that I could still play through whatever. And then everybody else is going through something at this point in time too. So, I mean, everybody's playing injuries. You just got to push through it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Cole, I don't know many people that would play with a broken fibula. So you are insane, but in the best way, because this team needed you so much this season. But as you go into the off season, how do you balance remembering the sting and the hurt of last night's loss, but also being proud of how much the team accomplished this season? And it's in a season where we didn't know what it would look like to begin with.
You just kind of you realize how close we are. We're not far. So, I mean, I talked about extra motivation, not really needing it, but I mean, it's more so like excitement of if you're right there, and even though we felt it before the game, you still have to go through certain things that kind of show you what you need to be where you want to be. So, and we showed that last night. So, I would expect everybody to take that feeling in the off season and kind of do what they feel they need to get us to where we need to be. Everybody just has to do their part and do their job, and that's been the thing all year. And that's, this team's really good at that, and that's why we've made it this far. So I'd expect that to carry over in the off season as well.
Thanks, Cole. Enjoy the off season.
Thank you.
Hey, Cole, Sal Capaccio here, WGR Radio. Just to make sure I'm right on this, it was the Week 16 game at New England, right? When you suffered that injury, that was at that point when you broke the fibula?
Yeah.
Did you think at all about shutting it down?
No. I mean, I knew the next game was probably out of the question. They kind of told me it was, so that one hurt a little bit, but there was no way that I was going to miss the playoff game, especially after watching week 17. So right. I was going to figure it out one way or the other.
Just want to end with asking you about Brian Dable. Obviously, he was in the mix for some jobs. He didn't get it, which means he will be back next year. What does that mean for you guys to be able to build off what you've already built with this offense?
Yeah, I'm selfish, so I'm happy that you didn't get those jobs just because I love
you
playing
and a lot of Bills fans, by the way. I know.
I want him to be happy and do what he wants to do, but I love him too much. I don't want him to go, so I'm happy that he'll at least be here for another one. The dude's an incredible coach. Probably the best OC that I've ever played for. Not just schematically, but as a person too. The mentality that he brings to the offense is incredible. He's just like one of the dogs out there too as well, and he thinks that way. So anytime you have a guy like that leading you, it makes it fun to go play. So I'm excited to have him back, and I know he's just like Josh, where he's probably taking it harder than anybody that lost yesterday. And I know he apologized to me and Steph. Even we felt like there was no need to, but that's just the type of guy he is. So I'm sure he's already up there watching film, trying to figure out what we need to do next season, because that's what he does.
Hey, Cole, heal up, man. Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.